Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Supposed to be more. What stable capabilities refuses to win. Use that for rising. Enjoy.
Jerry, what's up? Had a good Saturday. It was good. How about you? Had meatloaf and sauerkraut. Well, if that's good. Oh, it's no big deal, Jerry. I don't expect anybody to watch everything I do. Shotgun. Sturdy, girthy, and victorious. I like that. I definitely got the girthy part down. How cold is that? It is 28 where I'm at.
The Labrador Retriever and the Golden Retriever look similar.
Khalid, how's it going? I'm good. It's late. I just got home. So I'm just winding down by doing a little work on my drawing here. Yeah, Jerry, just going right over the pencils. I'm the greatest artist you've seen in your life. That's a very kind thing to say. You really got to get out there and look for more artists because I am not that good. I'm okay. Little Shrimp, you've seen the man in a vision to the right of where my pen is. You talking about this guy? Addie, why are you up so late doing Valentine nails? Sounds fun. When do we get to do my nails? I need pink Valentine nails. It's just a character in the book. A lithios man? I can't read what you're saying there, unfortunately. Little Shrimp, this is a cover that I am doing for a fan comic that I made based on He-Man and Masters of the Universe. Addie, that is interesting. The dot pattern nails and stuff. That would be interesting. You like to click on your nails and annoy your classmate? Well, as long as it's fun for you. No data stored. No, Jerry, I call them exactly who they are. I mean, I'm not hiding that it's a fan comic. It is the characters. Thanks, no data stored. I'm not really good at drawing techno stuff in the way that I would like to be, but I do the best I can and try and fake it at least. Mr. Pritchard, how is it going? You use Portasio's Mother One from Wetworks. That's a good one. Silvestri from Cyberforce or Shiro's Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, for sure. Jerry Gaines, I have not read any of the Bluntman and Chronic comics, but I have read comics written by Kevin Smith based on his characters. I like Kevin Smith, and I like the whole Clerks universe and all that stuff. Jay and Silent Bob. I'm a fan of those guys a lot. Ms. Addie, how far have you gotten on the original Star Trek? Addie, you got a great ear, which is no surprise. I know this already, but. Oh, you haven't got back to him. All right, well, that's all right. You'll get to it. Everyone remember when Jurassic Park was interesting? That was exactly the one movie, the first one, and it's been diminishing returns ever since in varying degrees. Addie, you did Uhura's nails. Uhura. Cutscene to cow torn apart by a yeah, yep. It's all true. But Jurassic Park's one of those ideas where it's like the idea and concept has written itself into a corner and is nothing but repetition of itself if you just keep going. All right, so they created dinosaurs. Okay, awesome. We want to make a theme park out of it, but Mother Nature can't be contained. It gets out. Dinos eat people. Scary, interesting, dramatic. Gives us something to think about on so preoccupied with whether or not we could, we didn't stop to think if we should. I like all that. But then what do you do in the next movie? Dinosaurs get free and eat people, and we stop and think about we were so preoccupied whether or not we could, we didn't stop to think if we should. All right, let's go to the third movie. What do we do? Trying to control the dinosaurs when they get free and they eat people. Then we think on the fact that maybe we shouldn't have done this. It's just, but in terms of a movie studio, they're going to keep cranking them out until they can make some money on them. Until they literally kill it for all time. It's kind of like the Terminator franchise. The first two, they wrote the story straight to the end, but they keep trying to make more, and it does not work. Because the story literally ended itself. Zane, but you are correct. It's Fisto, it's Trapjaw, it's Strong Arm, it's Jitsu, and it's She-Ra. You are correct. Well, I created a whole fan comic series. I have 6 graphic novels of a fan comic. Hey, there you go, Pritchard. Zane Butt is giving me a breakdown. Trapjaw is villain. She-Ra does heroin. Fisto hero. Are you know one thing? What does that mean, Zane Butt? But yeah, Pritchard. Yeah, Namor. Give him some sea dinos. Yeah, same with me, Zane Butt. I grew up with them. Addie, it sounds like you had a very busy day. I did not do nearly that much stuff. I did all my laundry. I played some video games. Took a nap. Then I just got back from a date. Now I'm drawing. It's a way to spend a Saturday. Zane, but I don't know Anton Zandor Levy. I don't know what that means. Eddie, it's just a longtime friend of mine. Refer to her as Muscle Girl because she's done some art modeling for me for my comics. I could show you right here. Addie, it's shit. It's this gal. She took me out for dinner for my birthday, which was like 2 weeks ago. But she's like, "Oh, your birthday dinner." And then we went and watched a movie. So that's her. Yeah. Seriously. She's like 5'1" and 112 pounds. She's just a tiny little thing, but she's a little power lifter. Heave. Yeah, she's she gets up pretty much every day and goes and lifts weights. Like, look at these biceps of hers. Yeah, yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, that was Dune we were listening to. At least that part of the soundtrack. You heard what? What was what? Oh, I don't know what it was part of. Maybe it was part of a commercial that paid. I don't listen to opera, so you got me beat there. Yes. I have many failings, and that is one of them. Jeez.
I need to fuel up. What do we do with that? That's right, frog fuel, baby.
Adam, how are you, sir? Uh, 3DAFPH, however you say that. I do not collect figures. I mean, I do have a few here and there, but they're just kind of for kind of personal one-off reasons. It's not a thing that I collect. So no, I do not use them for reference. I'll just look up pictures online if I need to. Though having a physical model of it, like this character I'm drawing right now, I do have a figure of him, like an updated version. And I could use this because, you know, the outfit's slightly different, but, you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing to use for reference. But in general, no, I do not. I have very few. Yeah, thanks for 3DAF. Okay. Adam, yeah, well, thanks for stopping. I know it's super late. I'm not going to be on here very long, really, anyway. But yeah, thanks, Adam. They're cute. They have hearts and they sparkles. 3DAF. Well, thanks for watching my stuff, 3DAF. I appreciate it. I don't think I remember seeing your name stopping here before, so thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Three Daf, you will check out my reviews of Image Comics. You were laughing at pointing out some of the inconsistencies in a Prophet comic. Yeah, they are many, right? Lily girl, hello, how's it going? Thank you, Addie. Thanks for stopping in.
Quality and reliable insurance to our customers by focusing on mobile.
Lens edits, how's it going? Yeah, 3DEF. It's like going back and looking at old 80s horror films and wondering why you were scared. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at these old books, and most of them I really enjoyed as a kid, but you look at them now, and I'm like, some of these, not all of them, but some of them are just like, what in the hell? How could they, like, it's just kind of incredible how crappy they can be. Then I run into a lot of people that don't want to acknowledge that they're actually not that good. And they yell at me for daring to criticize. I'm like, it's just one man's opinion. It's just. But then I like, point out to me where what I said was wrong. In fact, one guy told me that because I can't draw as good as an artist that I was criticizing, I have no right to criticize myself personally. I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works. I don't have to be a master chef to know that a cook, took a shit on a plate and garnished it and baked it and served it to me. I don't need to be a chef to know that that's no good. I know, Todd, I know. I am behind. I hang my head in shame. Yeah, 3Def, you've got it exactly right as far as I'm concerned. Um, like I understand that people love a lot of these old books from childhood nostalgia, and I get it. It's fine, but I've tried to ask some of these people that criticize me for daring to criticize these things that they like. I'm like, point out to me where I'm wrong, where what I said. I mean, sometimes I say things that are obviously like a joke. I'm being hyperbolic and just a little bit over the top intentionally to be, hopefully, in theory, somewhat funny. But, I tend to try to make like valid remarks. And then when people challenge me on it, I'm like, well, where was I wrong in what I said? Tell me how I'm wrong. And then we could kind of have a conversation about it. No one does. And then they get personal. It starts becoming personal attacks. No more late night parties for you. Yeah, well, the thing is I have almost no late night parties ever. But I do on rare occasion, like tonight, have a semblance of a social life. Montoya, how are you? Hey, Todd, you might find this interesting. I don't know if you've seen it or read it before, but tomorrow the video going up is the 2003 Dreamwave produced Jay Lee drawn Transformers G.I. Joe crossover set in 1939. Yeah, there you go. I'm not just criticizing. You're learning from other artists' mistakes. I mean, looking at all this stuff has, you know, pointed out a lot of stuff as I kind of speak it out loud and see it in multiple ways and repetition and gives me things to think about. So it's also a learning um, experience for me. And some people have um, Jet Comics. That sounds terrible. I can't wait. Todd, I am. Uh, I'm kind of back and forth. There are parts in that book, you'll hear me talk about it, where some parts of it I thought were really beautiful, and some parts I didn't think it worked at all. I don't Jay Lee's very, very dark, very shadowed line work combined with that very dark, muddy coloring. There's places where I think it really just didn't function for me. And you're wrong, Rob. Montoya, I mean, not specifically. I mean, on occasion, there's always people that show up and, um, a guy called me a pussy in the comments recently. And I'm like, all right, that's awesome. Say, stop being a pussy and just enjoy the books. I'm like, why don't you fucking suck my nuts until you're blue in the face? I didn't say that, but, I thought it. It was me. I did. Knew that was you, Todd. I knew it. Knew it. Only one man who would dare give me the raspberry. It's Todd Moonlight Studios. Everybody else worried about the Spaceballs sequel that they're making, that they're going to just fuck it up like everything else that gets fucked up. Well, thanks, 3DAF. I have never watched Tango and Cash, so I can't know anything about it. Oh, Jet, it's terrible, isn't it? That animated thing? That was like the worst thing they've ever made. And I was so excited. I was like, here's a perfect opportunity to take a property with a well-known name that everyone likes and then just have it be like a space adventure where they travel around and run into weird, funny shit. And it was just so bad. Like, so bad. Embarrassingly bad. I don't know, Jerry. Probably not. I might. Since it is a redraw of book 4's cover that I've done. But I'm not thinking that far ahead. Head. I am trying to run the ink out of this damn pen. Like, I have a hard time just letting these pens go because they're not as juicy anymore, but there's still a little bit of ink in it. It's like, come on. Let's run it all out so I can throw it away comfortably. I can bury you in your art tool grave knowing that you've given everything you had. You busted your last art load all over a page. Yeah, I've heard people talking about refilling pens, drilling a hole in them or something like that, and injecting ink into them. I've never tried. I bet you could, but these things are not very expensive. I've got an art store around the corner where I can buy a pack of 2 of them for like $5, and I have 3 brand new packs because they come with a hard tip and a soft tip, just like me. But And for me, it's not worth it to like, I'm going to drill a hole and do like microsurgery on a pen and inject ink into it to try and get, I'm like, just fuck it. I just throw it away and just get out a new one. But I also just don't like tossing them if there's still some life left in them. Like, come on, pen, give it all. Let's have an art bukkake and just fire everything you've got. Well, 3DEF, actually, this is an image. Well, you got She-Ra there too. But this is a cover to a fan comic that I've done. And these are the main characters in the final books 4, 5, and 6, the idea is that they're reformed villains that become heroes, including Trapjaw. And She-Ra, she started out as a villain. Fisto, he started out as a villain. And this is after, in my book, the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor. He-Man, like, ripped Skeletor apart, and then he slaughtered She-Ra's villains. And so a lot of the villains that were left kind of gave up their evil ways because they saw what He-Man was suddenly willing to do. And so the story is all about these characters kind of getting together. And Fisto's the leader because he used to be a former villain, then he's a hero. And so he kind of ends up joining up with Jitsu, Trapjaw, and Strongarm, and forming basically like a squad of like protection for hire, like hired muscle. But Fisto makes them do good things, and the story is about, in large part, about Fisto kind of becomes the star of the book along with She-Ra. And then it's about Trapjaw's journey to becoming a good guy, which he does not want to do. But that was part of the main point of my book, is to make it a believable scenario that you buy into why Trapjaw actually finally just changed his mind and become a good guy. Yeah, Montoya, I hear you saying they're pretty easy. I've never tried, and I don't know. One of these days, maybe I could. Yeah, I just took these characters in kind of my own direction. I mean, Strongarm and Jitsu had no character at all, so they were basically blanks. And Fisto had some minor characterization, and so did Trapjaw. But and I base all of these characters off the original '80s cartoons specifically. None of the comics or any other animated shows. They are the '80s versions, and after Skeletor did some horrible shit to He-Man, He-Man lost his shit and just went and slaughtered all the villains. And the ones who were left over were like, well, we're not going to take him on. He can just rip us apart right now. So they try to find a better way to live, and they do that under the guidance of Fisto. He's kind of like the moral center of them, keeps them all in line. And it's not without its troubles. Todd, you know what? He's like, okay, got it. But if you could say it all again, I wasn't listening. How'd they do that in that Lego movie? That was one of the funniest lines I'd ever heard. Redemption is always good plot armor. And see, some of this stuff, when I started the book, it was just, I wanted to do my version of the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, which has been done. But then I just kept going on and on with the story in my head, and Trapjaw survived his ordeal, and when he put himself back together, he's like, you know what, I'm out of here, I'm done with this shit. And then he gets pulled into this world with Fisto, and a large part of the narrative for him is his struggle with his own battle inside of like, I was this way and that's who I'm supposed to be, but he can't help but kind of having changed his ways, and he struggles acknowledging to himself that maybe he's different now. The 1979 film Caligula. I don't know what that is, Todd. Again, you're gonna have to yell at me. Where the fuck did I put that? Oh, right in my ear. The tiny comic books that came with the toys. I've heard that they're awesome. they were all kind of made separate from each other, right? If I remember hearing correctly, that they weren't exactly um, created with like input from the other people making them, so they weren't exactly consistent with each other, which kind of makes them interesting. Because how do you make canon for the characters when everything that's been put out there contradicts itself? Cinematography. Todd's like, I'm unfollow. I haven't seen everything. I've never made that. Made that statement. Yeah, some people deserve a second chance. Well, again, yeah, it's part of his arc, and like I said, part of my favorite part of the story was him fighting with himself. He's such an angry, cranky fucking asshole, and he fights with Fisto all the time in terms of way that the group that they're part of, the team, he disagrees with Fisto and challenges him a lot. And when She-Ra shows up and kind of joins their little group, Trapjaw and Fisto butt heads all the time. But in the end, Fisto ends up respecting each one of them, and Trapjaw becomes an extremely valuable member of the group. And part of his story also included, now that he's not just being a mindless monster, he's kind of forced to have to think for himself. He kind of discovers, or I mean, he knows, but he kind of gets to develop the fact that he's a technological genius. And, hence all his technology. So he keeps upgrading himself and making him better and becomes a very valuable member to the team and kind of becomes a badass. But he fights it every step of the way. Every time, Todd. I'm just here to break your heart. Yeah, no continuity in the Tiny Comics. Only there a way to share these stories with people. I understand, Cro-Magnon. There's probably, from what I understand, a collected edition of them. If you guys, some of you know that the musician Danny Bedrosian, he stops in periodically. He's the keyboardist for Parliament Funkadelic with George Clinton. He stops in, and he was saying, I think he even showed that he's got a collection. He's a big He-Man fan, and he's got a collection. I think he showed me, if I remember correctly, a collection of all those mini comics collected into one book. So I'm sure it exists. I should track that down and kind of see what they say and see what they're like. I do have to say, though, a lot of people find this hard to believe, but I am a fan of He-Man, but it is not my favorite thing. Like, I would put Transformers way ahead. Transformers first in terms of 80s cartoon properties that I'm a fan of. It's Transformers, and then Thundercats, and then He-Man. Then Voltron's in there. And Turtles eventually, sort of, but the Turtles cartoon was, I like stuff that was played a little bit more serious, and Turtles was nothing but a joke, which is why I like the live action movie so much, because it's played straight. That's what I like. Yeah, the mini comic book collection. Yeah, it's all different. Like every iteration of Masters of the Universe is always different. He-Man takes a cue from Frazetta's work. I'm sure. I'm sure it's a bit of Frazetta's work with Conan. Conan. I almost said, God, I almost said Conan the O'Brien. That literally almost escaped my lips unintentionally. Conan the Barbarian. Can you imagine? Shit. Right? I almost said that wrong. Conan the O'Brien. Crom. Yeah, 3DEF. We were actually talking about that on a recent live stream where there was a version of the Turtles that years ago my high school buddy showed me because I didn't know that the Turtles was a comic book originally. I had no idea. It was just a cartoon. Um, and then a buddy of mine showed me what he told me at the time was the original version of the Turtles in comic form. And they all look like snapping turtles with red masks or something like that. Or I don't even know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe they weren't colored, but they look like snapping turtles or something like that. Really violent, crazy, bloody, really cool stuff. And so for a while, I thought that was what the turtles were in their original comics form. But then I found out, no, that wasn't it. But yeah, the original like Eastman and Laird version, where like those original books. I got my hands on like a reissue of the original books where they had remastered it, recolored it, and boy, did they ruin it. They fucked it up. I'm shocked that they let it go. Thanks, Montoya. I'm having fun with it. Like I was saying, it's me redoing the cover to book 4 of my fan comic because I was just looking at it recently and I'm like, what the hell? It looked awful. Like I could do so much better. So just for my own kind of personal validation, I'm like, I gotta redo that. Not that it'll matter, but yeah, I took his turtle money and bought Heavy Metal magazine. Yeah, I remember that. Then he was married to that Julie Strain chick who, in her prime, was something to behold. I haven't really read any Turtles comics. Like I was saying, I did find it was a remaster of the original books, which when I got it, I didn't understand that it was a remaster, and I didn't know what the actual original books looked like. And man, this remaster was so horrible. It wasn't until I found someone else reviewing the original books in the way that they looked originally online. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it looked like. That's so much better than this remaster that they did. But no, I have not read any Turtle comics of any type that were just them. Like I read Savage Dragon and the turtles showed up in there, but that doesn't really count. Yeah. Yeah, the Turtles have done a He-Man crossover with the figures, and I think He-Man's done a crossover with the Transformers. I keep seeing these action figures where it's like, here's a Ninja Turtle and a He-Man guy, melded together in one horrible, ugly abomination. Here's a He-Man and a Transformer. And I'm like, stop it. I don't need to see the love child between Ram Man and Bumblebee. Like, this is just weird. Coming out of our shells tour, I did not have the cassette, but at the time, I would have wanted it. So I was really big into them in terms of, like, again, my Turtles is the original movie. Montoya, you still have your cassette. I have my cassette of the original Turtles movie soundtrack. I still have that.
Another happy customer. Thanks to the fast,
You know what? I love my Go Ninja rap.
plumbing and drain cleaning. When plumbing problems
You know what?
arise,
Just to show you.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yo, it's the cream machine. Gonna rock the town without being seen.
Turn it down.
Yeah, everybody just move. Vanilla is real with the beat that I'm gonna rock. And roll the place to the power of the Ninja Turtle face. Iceman, you know I'm not playing. Devastating show like the turtle rock saying. Ninja, 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 ninja.
Go, go.
Go ninja, go ninja, go! Go ninja, go ninja, go! Go ninja, go ninja, go!
I'm not gonna lie. I legitimately like this song. I know it's objectively bad, but I don't care.
You know what I mean? Give it up. All the heroes and queens just rolling. Smooth with the power, and without hour after hour. Cause in this life, there's only one winner. You better get the ring. Get in the win with a team of 4. Ninja Turtles have got it for. It's Ninja.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
Running high because one day it might not slide. So choose your weapon, don't slip. Vanilla's in the code with the effects of the mic grip. Rocking the crowd the way it should be. Rock with the mighty drop. That's the light and lock. You know it's hidden. Like a ninja turtle when a bass hits. You better check the level, the power. All the ninja is strong. Rocking off to the powerful gong. Ninja, 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 ninja. Go ninja, go ninja, go!
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
Go ninja, go ninja, go!
Yeah, Monty, the Jim Carrey doing that. Dude, that was funny. Everything Jim Carrey did back in those days, I thought was just hilarious. He was like, it's the white guy on In Living Color, and he's hilarious. You can see the turtles go up against Storm Shadow, like a Turtles G.I. Joe. I wonder if that's happened. Hell yeah.
Come on, man.
And with the local DKC news, from Jay to the Detroit to come back.
Don't call it a comeback. Cops, Bionic Six, and Humanoids, Visionaries, Exosplat. Did Cops? Wasn't there a bad guy in that show called Bullets McBoom Boom? Yeah, it's kind of a bummer how many of these things you can't find anywhere to watch. I bet you there's a lot of them on YouTube, honestly. You could find a lot of that old stuff that no one gives a shit about on YouTube oftentimes. Out. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up as far as I'm going to go tonight. Jerry, you got the complete Turtles, He-Man, and She-Ra. Yes, Todd, I'm always a quitter. AA is for quitters. 4 more hours. See, Shotgun Scream knows what to say. He just became Todd's best friend. Todd would have gone through 2 with 2. All right, everybody. Thanks for the, hour and, almost a half. But my butt's killing me. My feet are killing me. So I'm going to go relax. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You guys all have a good night. Thanks, Jerry, 3DAF, Todd, Montoya, Shotgun.